All right, good morning. This is the Franklin County Fiscal Court Road Committee, and we welcome all of you. And Mr. Mitchell, I'll let you move from here.
Yes, just one item on the agenda is the review, I guess, of the process of selection, scoring. Is that right, Robert?
Yes, sir, that's correct. So was it 4 firms submitted?
Yep.
So everyone on the road committee was provided a copy of the proposals as well as scoring sheets. Just to be consistent with how we've done things in the past, we've asked all members to review each of the proposals, and then it would be, I think, appropriate to, since we only have 4, if we interview all 4 firms, and then the committee finalize their scoring sheets and reconvene for a recommendation to the court.
John, do you have the 4, or Robert, do you have the 4 companies that would you mention them?
Yes, so we have, first firm is OHM Advisors out of the Frankfurt office. Then we have GRW out of Lexington. We have Sherman Carter Barnhart out of their Lexington office. And then we have Summit Architectural Services out of Lexington as well.
Okay. And John, do you agree with the recommendation of interviewing all 4?
Yeah, I think that's fine. I think it'll be fine.
So as the committee, I think the committee needs to discuss the look fors and as we interview, but we need to have that discussion and so we're all on the same page in the look fors, because they're all, as you know, these companies are pretty good at giving you shiny statements, and not saying that they're bad, but they all can sound pretty much alike. So John, Stephen, if you would kind of talk to us about what your thoughts are and how this should move forward, and as possible. This is going to be difficult because it is not a building where we're not building this and you're going to be in another location. This is build as you work. So give us some of your thoughts, John.
Yeah, I think that's key to the whole process, is being able to figure out the best way to, tear down, rebuild, and still operate within our facility. I think it's a very possible, doable thing to do. I don't see that big an issue with it. I mean, we can make it work. There's room to do it, but timing, I think, is probably one of the hardest things. We need to do this in good weather if we can.
Yeah, timing, keeping your employees' tools and your tools safe too.
Yeah, secured.
I agree with John. I think one of the keys to the firm that's ultimately selected is the ability to provide scheduling to fit the needs of the road department, as well as the logistics of how you operate and construct all on a single site. It's one thing to build on a green site, but then to have a whole department working while you're under construction is going to be challenging, to say the least. And the firm selected should have adequate experience in that kind of situation, because if it's not done properly, it will be a very difficult time, in my opinion.
And it'll waste time too.
Yes, it will. It'll waste time. That's another key, because time is money.
John, there was this preliminary discussion a while back about wanting a new entrance into the road department as well.
Yeah, that was something I thought about, but I don't think it'll benefit us that much. I went back and looked at that and I'm just kind of wanting a second entrance, more or less for salt delivery and stuff like that, but I kind of changed my mind on that. I don't think it's gonna help us. I think it'd be more trouble than it's worth. It's something else we got to monitor, a gate we got to work with. I think we need to minimize our entrances and keep it to one and, you know, perimeter fence, everything else,
Yeah.
Mhm.
for sure.
The other pieces that you want, or at least we've talked about keeping the administrative office as a storage facility or something.
Yeah, I think we can, you know, that's part of this design. I don't. We've looked at a couple different things, administrative office could be, you know, stay there for some storage, some extra office space. I don't know what we're gonna try to squeeze into this main building. But, you know, as long as we get a separation of office and garage.
Yeah, you don't want the noise
I
or
don't
the
want that
fumes or
noise,
anything.
the smell, the fumes, all that. You know, we have to do really good about getting a separation there.
Right, if you, and I know you have, if you look at those plans, there's a lot of buildings that are set up where
Yeah.
where you can do that.
Right.
Well, fire department for one.
Yeah, fire department for one, yeah, they completely, that can be done.
But it costs money too.
Yeah. Yeah, and like I said, we need to, you know, start with our main building and then work from there. I think it's gonna be a step process, I believe, is the simplest way. Just to be able to maintain our ongoing day-to-day functions. We're just gonna have to start with one and then move to the next one. It's, because we're gonna have to have some storage. We need to look at salt storage. Equipment storage and, you know, something pretty, I'd like to have secure. A lot better than what we got now for, you know, some of the trucks that have a lot of tools and stuff in them. They need to be more than what they are now.
John, you've seen, I think several of us have gone to Scott County and seen what they did. Do you like that type of concept?
It's okay. I don't like the way it's laid out the best in the world, but. You know,
But they did have bays for the trucks to pull. in.
Yeah, I mean, it's got a good principle to it. I just, you know, some of the things they've done, I don't see, you know, the where it benefits us at all. And I've talked with them too, you know, they're just like everybody else, you know, they wish they'd done this a little different, or done that a little bit, so I've tried to feed off of that. So,
That's a good idea.
Yeah.
I just for Susan and Tamara and I have had discussion for the budget, so not knowing, I put 4 million in as bond. This is just an estimate for this building, but that, and I said to bond it. So that's where it's gonna go into the budget now. We can adjust that if you think so, but think that's probably around figure to get us started with.
yeah, I think that'd be a good number to go with,
Hopefully it'll be less, but
hopefully.
hopefully not more. We also have advertised, Robert update us on a construction manager, CM.
Yes.
Tell us about that.
So that advertisement appeared in the State Journal yesterday in the Sunday edition. I have given prospective submitters 2 weeks to compile their presentation or proposals that are going to be due on Monday, March the 28th.
That the only place you're advertising?
Well, on our website as well, but I didn't. People like Dodge Report and stuff, they follow me, and so
Okay.
they'll pick it up.
Okay.
Did you place in it, have Andrew place it in our vendor registry?
I asked him, well, I did not specifically, just asked him to put it on the website.
Okay, we need to have him place it on, in the vendor registry, so that way if vendors are registered with us under those commodity codes, they'll automatically get notified.
Oh, okay, great.
It's on vendor registry.
Thank you.
Okay. How does the CM work, Robert, along with the architect?
Well, it's going to be up to the court as to the type of service you request. There's some options available. So initially the CM will work with us and the architect, probably for the logistics of the build. They will also assist during the bidding process. But more importantly, once construction begins, they will assist in coordinating the work scheduling with the general contractor. And if the court chooses to do so, they can provide on-site, whether it be part-time or, permanent or full-time site supervision. Now, all that comes
Through
with
the
a cost.
the CM would do that, right?
No, yeah, the CM, the construction manager would do the on-site supervision of the day-to-day activities. But that does
That
come
would
at
be
a
an
cost.
option we could do.
Exactly,
request.
right. Because the architect's on-site activity will be to verify key milestones. And then also, once pay applications are submitted, the architect will verify the work. But once again, the construction manager also will provide that information as well in daily logs and things of that nature. The construction manager will also have periodic meetings with the site superintendents of each trade, just to make sure everything's being coordinated. And the CM will also work to make sure that the schedule's being met.
So the CM would be vital in this, when we go back to that first statement that we were talking about, and that is, this is a on-site, on the job location.
Yes, it's going to be a difficult project for coordinating the activity of,
Of those.
Road department
of our
and
road
road-
department working while we're building a
Yes.
building.
because with limited space, the road committee and the court probably ought to discuss perhaps some off-site staging, much like we did with the judicial center. So for instance, just bulk materials or tool shed or, tool containers and things may need to be located off-site so that they're not taking up so much space on the site, because, you'll need a lay down area for the new construction.
We know a place
Yeah, we know a place.
for rent.
Yeah.
Uh,
And it worked well for the judicial center.
What are your
It's not-
thoughts,
yeah, it's
John?
Close to that too.
Oh, yeah, I mean, that'll work fine for some of our stuff. Yeah, if we have to.
Not your stuff, their stuff.
Their stuff, yeah.
Yeah, but if we need to move stuff out of the way,
Yeah.
get some stuff moved out there, that's fine. There's always room at the park if we need to put some stuff.
Robert, and John, Lambert, you're experiencing this too. How do you see? Obviously, there's gonna have to be a shutdown of the garage at some point while they're building it, or maybe not. So how do you see that working?
I don't think we'll have to.
You don't think you'll have to? You think the garage you can keep the garage going while you're building the new one,
We should be able to, it should be fine. I don't know.
and then in the end, just take it down?
That's almost a must have. I mean, you have to keep that
Yeah.
operation going
So you're not
regardless.
gonna put it where that garage is? Be right outside it there, to the left of it.
Tear down
The big barn?
the big barn, storage barn, and that's all it is, vehicles parking. I think that's where we have to go back.
Okay.
That's where you see the building being.
Oops,
Then,
sorry.
if you put that there, you still, so if you stay with that same, you still see yourself coming in and then going back around to it.
Yeah, we can keep the same entrance and we can twist the building, turn the building wherever.
Yeah, that's what I
make it,
was thinking.
You know, however a bay's wanna work out, long as we've got room.
And this is just a thought. Do you think it would be better to have a one-way in and a one-way out and come in that way and then go back out through that wooded area there? Have a exit that way?
I don't know. I
You don't
mean,
have that heavier traffic.
Well, I bet you are during construction gonna have it.
That's a thought, just during
we
construction.
could do a construction entrance, I mean, that's, and put a gate in there and then just, there it is, if we need it, we can use it, but I don't see it something
I don't see it being
that
necessary.
definitely need,
You don't? Okay.
which it doesn't amount to much really.
And you got a wide road there, you know, if you meet somebody, they can get by.
Yeah, we don't have much trouble. with traffic.
Okay.
What are you gonna do with your equipment that's in that barn?
Well, that's the thing, it'll just have to set out, most of it, you know. And I think that's, some of it we could store depending on what times at the park and all that stuff.
Mailbox. Well, Lambert, Scott, we hadn't heard from,
Oh, I haven't heard
Scotty.
Scotty, he's there.
so.
Just
Yeah.
listening, just
I
listening.
got your questions.
John, couple questions. You foresee this having drive-through bays, obviously, kind of like the new fire station or the fire stations. Circle around, pull back through.
For sure,
Okay.
yeah.
Will the mechanics, I'm sure you'll lean on them. They're spending most all day in those as far as needs and so forth.
Yeah, haven't got that far yet, but we are getting closer. We're figuring out, you know, we need a serious upgrade and
Right.
tools and equipment and, you know, that's
I got you.
something that really needs to be included.
I guess this will be for you or Lambert. What are you looking at on those lifts that's going to give you the capability to put those trucks up in the air or that equipment up in the air? Anybody know cost or anything like that? Have you looked at that?
They're not bad.
You can go crazy with them or you can, you know, stay normal. I know the bus drive put one in not too long ago for the buses and it's really nice.
Right.
John, do you see, and I've forgotten what you call them, but that, where they're lower, where you can stand and walk, underneath the vehicles? I don't know what you call that.
I know exactly what, we used to have one in the old building, and we filled it in because it's a safety hazard, nobody
Yeah.
really uses it.
Like you see at Valvoline.
Yeah.
Nobody already uses those anymore.
You don't? Okay.
And BFI has those things you roll around and stick it up the truck, pick it up, but then you can't work on
Yeah,
the tire.
right, it's kind of,
You can pick it up, set it on a jack stand though.
yeah, I think we still got a way to go to figure out, you know, what we need in there, but if that comes at the end of the game, so.
Is it Robert, maybe this question's for you. Is it possible? Obviously, it sounds like there's a time crunch per se, but is it possible to put a time limit or a time frame on this project?
Yes, there will be a substantial completion date and a final completion date as part of the contract. And that will come at the recommendation of the architect based on the design and logistics. that, the county would agree upon.
Right.
Or modify. And with that being said, will the road committee be acting as the building committee?
Yeah, that's what we've done in the past.
Okay,
So it would be, the road committee would meet, normally it's once a month with the architect, right?
yes,
That,
to review scheduling,
yeah,
change orders, pay applications.
yeah.
With there being a time frame on this, would we need to meet more than once a month? What would be your recommendation, Robert? Or would it help
Well,
to meet more than?
We
once
can
a
meet
month?
as needed
Well,
too.
Yeah,
It
yeah, you
would,
mean as needed, yeah,
once a
but
month
norm,
as
when we
needed.
when we built the new fire station and built the sheriff's office, we met, it was once a month, but then we did have other meetings that were
Yeah.
all.
yes. And what we want to do is coordinate, what I would prefer to have is the building committee coordinate their meeting schedule in advance of the fiscal court meeting so that pay apps are paid in a
Yeah,
timely
that's
manner and
right.
it's predictable.
Yeah,
So
that's right.
everyone appreciates that. It went really well for the fire station and sheriff's office.
The energy.
Yeah.
Project as
Oh,
well.
yeah, an energy
Yeah.
project.
Yeah, the energy project too.
Speaking of energy project, knowing that the administrative building was included in that project, does it really make sense to not use that building now that it's energy efficient?
Well, John says he wants to use that building, right?
Yeah, it's fine.
Okay, okay, good, okay.
John's administrative offices also serve as a key connection for telephone and
Gotcha.
fiber optic to other facilities.
For the jail too, doesn't it?
Yes,
Yeah.
I know, Robert, I think at the news station, did they go back and include some storage space up high, like a mezzanine type storage?
yes. So there's a
Okay.
mezzanine for equipment and then also there's a platform for storage in addition to the tool bays that are off to the end of the
Right.
building.
I think that'd
So
be
that's-
very
that's
beneficial
Yes.
down there for those guys.
Yes, because that's where I think the fire department does record storage. They keep files and boxes and things of that nature up there, so storage will be critical for any facility that the county builds.
Amen to that, for sure.
Definitely.
Yeah, well, and I think, John, you all have always talked about tools, especially for your tools, and you buy in bulk in with some things, oil, I guess,
Filters
and all
and
that.
everything.
So this building will, as we're looking at the design, will really need to have storage for your tools, supplies, tire. I mean, I remember that in Scott County, that one that had even a room for tires and stuff.
Good deal. What's the next step, Robert? Are you gonna line up interviews, or is that what you're all wanting to do?
Yeah.
If everyone's agreeable.
Yeah, we'll do that in person. I guess you can still do it video, but we'll like to bring them in person, I think. Don't you think, Robert?
Yes, sir.
Okay, we'll do it in this room. Is that okay?
Yes.
You want to do 2 and 2, or you want to do them all 4 in one day, Judge?
I think we probably ought to do 2 and 2. That's pretty hard to do.
Okay.
That's pretty hard to do 2 and 2. I mean, 4 in one day. I prefer to do it that way. Would you all?
Yes,
Whatever you all think.
I like 2 and 2.
Yeah.
Lambert, what's best for you? Afternoon, after lunch?
Mornings is probably best for me.
Okay.
And I think if we give them an hour presentation, what do you think, Robert?
Yes,
Okay. So we'll have to do, that's the first phase. The second phase will be the CMs after that. So if they really could, or we may end up having, I don't know, in order to be, I don't know what the time frame will be, but hopefully we can get the CMs in as quick. It would be my thought, and this is just a thought, so I told this out to the committee, that we give some type of time frame to have the architect picked and some type of time frame to have the CM picked. And then we can kind of look at the time frame for construction, starting of construction in this discussion today. Is that a legitimate? Can we legitimately do that, Robert?
Yes.
Okay,
I don't know if we can come up with a time frame for construction if we haven't even picked an architect yet,
yeah, well,
but
just
Yeah.
out there type.
Sure.
This
Well-
is a hope.
you're right.
I mean, you would anticipate probably 6 months in the design phase for the
You
architect.
think that long?
I think so. I mean, hopefully I'm overestimating.
I hope so
Not a
too.
lot of time.
It does. I mean,
Sure.
just remember all the revisions we went through on the fire station. You recall that?
Yeah.
Met many times to go over that and to look at
Weren't you on that
costs.
committee, Lambert?
I was.
Yeah, Lambert was. How long, do you recall how long that design phase took?
I don't think it was that. I don't think it was 6
It wasn't
months.
6 months, I don't think. but
I don't think it was 6
Mm.
months.
We'd like to get this thing off the ground pretty soon.
Yeah, I think,
Don't wanna
I think
rush
our
it
goal should be to try to get it started at least by September or August or something, maybe, do you think?
Judge, you think it would be possible to have this, this part of it figured out by the end of the month? I mean, can we take these 4 to 1 within 2 weeks?
Yeah. Yeah, we can do
Yeah.
that.
Let's do it.
Yeah, I think we can.
That
do
way
that.
it'll be done. We'll have that part done. That
When's
puts,
the next
that
court
puts you
meeting?
in, does that put you in line, Robert, with the,
What, the 30th is
The scene.
should be the goal for to get them, I think.
yeah,
Well, we'll get Pam to set it up. It's gonna really kind of be on you all when you can meet.
So
Make
the
it happen.
construction manager proposals are due on the 28th. The packets would have already gone out by then.
We won't get the construction. Let's
Yeah.
let's concentrate on the architect. Let's try to do the construction by our April 21st or 22nd meeting, I think. 22nd, yeah. We can get that in. I think we can hopefully we can get that in. We'll see.
Okay, I'll note that. In terms of the architect getting on the agenda for March the 30th, what's the deadline for information to,
What day is
clerk.
March 30th?
that's a Wednesday.
Yeah.
Mhm. Typically, those packets would go out Friday. Friday meetings, the packets go out Tuesday or Monday, I'm sorry. Because Friday meetings, the packets go out on Tuesday. So that one would go out Monday.
So definitely by Friday.
So, all right, so the packets go out Monday, the 28th for the 30th meeting. So the 25th,
You just got Tuesday, don't you?
No, this is a Wednesday meeting.
Or is it?
Mhm.
Mhm. It was Thursday, but there's the chamber's having something that Thursday night, so we switched it. So this will have to be a special meeting then too. won't
It is, yes.
Yeah.
Is that doable, Robert?
let's see,
When's the CM deadline?
the 28th of this month, 2 weeks from today.
I'd have to slow down some because spring break is that next week. And then we'll have to,
I don't get a spring break anymore.
we'll have to do, we'll do our best to try to get on the April. And I think we're probably, it's budget time, so there could be some special call meetings as well. Between April and May.
In order to have the architect agreement for the 30th meeting, that's cutting it close, because if we're gonna do 2 days of interviews,
Yeah, that's.
road committee meet, discuss, choose, then get a contract from the architect to the county attorney for his review, and then things to the item to the clerk by the 25th. Only gives us 2 weeks.
That's true.
I mean, we can try, but I mean, you've got 4 firms. I mean, at least they're
And I thought we were gonna let the CM help us with this or not?
good.
Don't
Yeah,
know.
I mean, that's,
That
I mean,
slows it
I don't know if
down
that's a
quite a
good
bit.
thing
I
or a
think
bad
we
thing.
could go ahead and pick the architect, let the CM, let
Okay,
the architect, and the CM work together.
mhm.
Let's do it that way. Well, let's shoot for the 30th and with the realization that we may not, probably won't make it. And maybe we ended up, maybe, I don't know, maybe we end up getting, it's maybe hard to get to see him on the 22nd too, if that's the case, because
So
is the
is,
CM contract is as thorough as a architect contract?
they're different because the architect's contract is a standard form from the American Institute of Architects. So it'll be a different format. At least Rick will be familiar with the architect's contract. The CM contract will require additional.
Is it more difficult? Is it?
It's just not a standardized form.
Okay.
Like the architectural contract is.
Okay. Well, okay, let's just all agree that we'll do the best we can. And get it when we can, when we can. And there is probably a likelihood that we'll have a special call meeting to discuss more of the budget. So if that being the case, we can look at maybe having these on at that time as well.
It would be nice because it'll definitely land in your upcoming fiscal year. You know, these agreements
Mhm.
and payments. Most definitely. So with selecting the architectural firm prior to budget, that will, I mean, without knowing the cost of the building, at least you'll know what percentage the architect will charge.
What's that standard? Is there a standard for that?
It depends on, it varies based on the construction costs.
Mhm.
There's a table.
John, are we
Provided.
okay on, what is that, oil or underground stuff in that area? Didn't we years ago come
Far as I
in?
know, all that's been done and over with for a couple of years, because they did the monitoring wells for several years, and I think all that's history now. So,
Are you still doing surface water quality testing?
yeah, we do that quarterly.
Okay.
Will that have to be part of the design, surface water?
Yeah, to some degree. I mean,
Mhm.
we have to have a collection point, and then we'll have to have a detention and all that. So I mean, we could probably use the same one we've got to some degree. It may have to be upsized a little.
You don't heat that administrative building by wood, do you?
No,
It's
it's
the
not.
garage, just the garage?
Yeah.
As part of this design, what would we know, how many bays? Let me ask you, start asking you these questions. How many bays are you thinking, John, Stephen, whomever wants to,
At least four.
at least
A
4?
minimum of 4.
Okay, a minimum of 4 storage. What, and then how many offices as part of your administrative part?
Well, I thought about that too. You know, my foremans have never had a office, a place to do anything. So I would like to include, you know, a spot for them where they could have their own little spot
How many foremans do you have?
too.
Can they be in the same office?
Yeah, they could be. It could be just one room, that's fine, but I think we owe it to them. I believe they needed their own little world there.
Sure. Do you, and so do you foresee it looking similar to what you've got where you come in and you see Amy, the administrative assistant, there, first person that you see?
For sure.
Okay,
I thought you said you were gonna stay where you were, John. I just
No,
asked.
that room that building's for storage, won't it, John?
Well, I don't know, we haven't got that far down the road, I mean, it's what'll fit in this building, what won't, you know, I don't know, I mean, we got a long way to figure this out.
You ain't
Yeah.
wrong.
It's a lot more to it than it's on the picture, so.
Right.
I don't know, I mean, what's best for us? I don't know. It's a tough one to figure out.
Oh, I'm sorry, I thought all along, I thought it was understood all along that this new building would be an administrative office as well.
Well, like I said, we discussed that, and, but my main concern, I want separation
Yeah,
somewhere there.
I think you
My
might
guy
be better
makes a
off
lot
up on the
more
hill
noise
there where
than
you are.
the Fire department does.
Well, if you look at all the designs in there, they're all this one building, but they're all, I guess it's totally separated. The garage is
Right.
separated.
I'm
from-
sure it's possible, but I don't see an issue with it, as long as it'll all fit, you know, that's fine.
Mhm.
I mean, you know, we've got a great big building right now, I think we can squeeze the footprint down. You know, to open up a little area there. You know, if it has to have a corner office off the edge of it, I mean, that's no big deal. We
It'd
can
be
make
good to
it
have
work.
a good concrete pad outside to work off of too.
Yeah, that's an interesting, so down there on Friday, part of it's blacktop. Most of it isn't.
Most of it isn't. right?
Yeah, so do you foresee as part of this having that virtually the entire area blacktopped, or how do you see it?
Now, the front part, you know, I think we need to leave the back like we got it. I mean, I don't think it really, needs to be paved. And it doesn't benefit us at all, really paving the back end of it for storage and material storage, stuff like that. I don't see it.
Okay,
One issue we dealt with for Station 10, if you all recall, had to do with the bays and whether or not the apparatus were deemed commercial vehicles. Didn't that have to do with sprinkling the,
Well, it was the sprinklers and the raised floor for the administrative
Yes.
offices.
right? So that's something we'll want to get ahead of
And
this
it's a dry
time.
system too, isn't it? Or it might be cold out there.
Mhm. So we'll want to get ahead on that one and see if there's anything in the statute that, as it did with fire apparatus, where they're not deemed commercial vehicles because of their emergency status.
And it might have been where they were sleeping in there too.
Mhm.
Made a difference too.
So, because you know how expensive sprinkler systems are, you'll probably also want a automatic exhaust system,
Be nice.
carbon monoxide buildup, that
Sure.
may be required.
I would think so. Do you see the building as a sleeping quarters, John?
No, I don't think we need a sleeping quarters, decent sized day room, I guess, with,
Kitchen?
kitchen facilities and stuff like that. I think we'll be fine with that. I don't think, we don't sleep there unless we have to, that's for sure, but. I don't see it.
You don't see that?
But you'll need an area where, if they push snow for 12 hours and go in and lay down for a while or kick back in
That's what I'm saying, we need a
Recliner.
big day room, like the
Yeah.
size of this thing right here with
Yeah, like a lounge.
something,
Mhm.
Yeah.
with kitchen facilities.
And in those kitchen facilities, you need a stove? Do you usually use a stove?
Mhm.
Okay,
Yeah, for sure.
microwave and
Yeah.
refrigerators.
And back again in our experience with Station 10, there was the issue with the building inspector about the cooking facilities and whether or not it needed a commercial exhaust system with suppression or not. So we'll need to refer back to our notes on how we handled that.
Well, you just look at it and see, don't you?
Would the
Mhm.
construction manager be overseeing those
Mm.
requirements?
No, the architect would. And then in discussion, housing building and construction ultimately will, determine the classification of the building and what requirements will be applied to it. And then the architect serves as our liaison with the design versus the building code requirement. To see what we have to do and what's optional. Because that commercial hood system with the fire suppression is expensive.
Yeah.
So,
All right,
and then, John, do you have natural gas on the property?
Yes,
good to know.
Um, Are your bays, do you want them too deep?
for sure.
Okay,
You have a
And then-
truck Trailer in there.
yes.
Yeah, that's the issue we have now. We don't have room to get a truck and trailer hardly, I mean, it doesn't fit very good. so.
Right. And then we'll also need to raise the bed on the biggest dump you've got. So we can verify our,
Yeah, height's
Overall
gonna
height.
be an issue. We need to plenty of heights and we have to account for the lift systems too.
yes,
That's gonna be something, and wide doors.
yeah, the architect will want to know the type of lift system and the height and their overall clearance. And I would prefer that this building go with high bay lights as opposed to hanging lights. Because what we've experienced with Station 10 is on very windy days when the bays are open, they have a tendency to swing. So if we go with high bays, we won't have that problem. Plus, it'll give us more overall height clearance. And then I strongly suggest we go ahead and plan to epoxy the floor in the bays.
Yeah, we need a good drainage system
Mhm.
in there, floor. Wintertime, that thing turns into a mess. And it's wet. And, you pull something that's been out in the snow for 6 hours and then it sits in there and it all melts.
Yeah.
Mhm.
You got a puddle, a big puddle.
Does that epoxy, hold up under, or with salt on it all the time?
I'm not sure about
Is
the
there a
salt.
certain type of, in other words, is there a certain type of floor that's better for, equipment that uses salt?
I'm sure there's an epoxy for it, I'm sure.
Mhm.
Better than the raw concrete, that's for sure.
Definitely. An old water separator drain system. Just like, but we'll probably want to double those up because at Station 10, we only had one per bay. We may want two per bay in this one. Possibly, just something to think about.
To what?
Two drains, two
Oh,
catch
okay.
basins
Yeah,
per
yeah.
bay.
Yeah,
It makes sense if you're gonna have the capability to pull in two trucks back, front to back. Makes sense, Robert.
They need a grade on them though, that's
Yeah,
smooth with the concrete that you can cross with a creeper and all that.
yeah, they'll have to be, you can open up and clean out. And I don't know, I've always wanted a wash bay on this, I don't know. I'd like to fit something in. And looked at Scott County, I mean, there's this outside, and it's kind of boxed in, but I'd like to have something inside. When it's cold,
City got a grant to build that car wash, truck wash, or whatever it is they've got down there. We look into something like that.
they got a grant.
Mhm.
And so, yeah, that's a good point that we,
They got a federal grant for that.
would, the architect be the one to apply for grants, or would we have to have Ann come in and apply for grants
Yeah,
with it?
it would be the county.
The county, okay.
Now, if I recall correctly on the city's garage grant, I think it was limited only to the buses, restricted use.
I think I heard that too.
Just by the nature of the grant itself.
I don't know, just something I've always thought that
But they washed the cars and everything down there.
would be nice to have.
All right, as part of the interview process, I probably will do this, if it's okay with you guys. We'll schedule them for an hour. We'll give probably 30 minutes between that first one and the second one, to allow for, it being longer, and also give you, time to go to the restroom or whatever, in between, if that's okay with you guys. So in other words, interviews will take, 3 hours as opposed to,
It's like 2.5, so say 9 and
Yeah.
10:30.
Would you, if we give the firms an hour to present, don't we want to give ourselves at least 30 minutes for Q and A?
well, that's what I'm saying.
Oh,
I'm saying we're allowing an hour and a half per architect, okay?
Okay,
An hour for presentation and 30 minutes.
all right, and then
Committee discussion or overtime, lapping.
okay,
And we'll set that up with Pam to get back with you guys on that. Okay,
very good. Is the committee okay with me reaching out to the firms to check their availability
I
for?
think what we would like to do is set you and Pam, all of us, the four of us will come in and we'll get together and start looking at some dates and see and Pam will be in touch with the Squires and then you be in touch with the architects.
Okay,
You be the liaison with the architects, okay?
sure. If you don't, I'd be happy to. If you don't mind, I'll go ahead and let them contact them, let them know we received them.
Yeah.
And that we're scheduling the interviews and we'll be back in touch. That way I'll verify my point of contact with each
That's
firm.
fine, that's fine.
And we want these morning presentations as well,
Remember,
correct?
do you have to have morning?
Yeah, I don't want to come in here muddy.
Okay. We'll probably start them. Scotty, can you handle mornings?
Yeah, absolutely. Are we gonna start them next week as we discussed earlier?
I don't know whether we can or not. We haven't looked at the schedule, but we'll try.
Yes, sir.
It'll probably it'll be 9 o'clock and then 10:30. And then we'll be finished by noon. So it'll be 9 to noon, basically.
Be
Well-
9 and 11.
9 and 11, yes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
well, no, it'd be 9 to 10 and then 30 minutes after that. And so it'd be 10, hour and a half. Hour and a half,
Okay.
hour and a half. I understand that.
Yeah,
hour for
you said a
interview and
30-minute
30
break, but we
minute-
don't have to have a 30-minute break.
Yeah, but it'd be a
It's 5 minutes.
30-minute to cover, but
What
if
they
it
talk
does, if it goes over an hour and discussion if needed and all that, okay?
So the 1 hour per firm is going to be both presentation and our Q and A time?
That's what we're gonna, I want you to tell them, we want them to present and we will, we'll do questions after. All of that will be an hour. We're going to say that it could go over an hour. We're not gonna tell them that. but it could-
Okay.
That's why I'm putting a half an hour in
Okay.
as,
To be an hour for presentation and Q and A.
yeah,
Okay.
in theory, that's,
Might go over.
Okay, so 9 and 10:30?
9 and 10:30.
Squire Tracy, if you have any dates next week that you know for sure you cannot meet from those times, if you want to go ahead and just email Pam and let her know.
I should be good to go any of those days. If,
Okay,
now that I know it's in the morning, so I should be good to go.
okay, I'll let her know.
All right. Anything else? John, Stephen, you haven't said anything? You okay?
Yes, I'm good, Judge.
Okay. John,
I'm good.
I'm good.
Done. Ready.
Well, it's a process. Like everything else.
Well, Judge, you and Squire Moore have experience from the fire station and public safety building, so, and I'm sure Squire
You
Tracy.
do too.
I do too.
A lot of it.
So, we have learned so much from those projects that will definitely benefit this road department project. And hopefully make it run a lot, very smooth. Because we know what we want and we learn from the past, and it'll make, I think, John's facility top notch for the budget.
John, I'm not, what I'm about to say, I'm not telling you what to do, because you know more about it than all of us put together. But I do think it would be important for you to get, to have your crews talk about what needs and wants, and especially those that work in the garage, your mechanics, and how that should be designed. That would be helpful to them as well.
That's a great point. We did the same thing with the fire station.
Yeah, we did.
And what I did for the fire station, John, is I just printed out big sheets and left it in the stations, and then the guys and gals would go by and just jot down their thoughts and ideas. If you want to do
However
that.
you want to do it, John, but just have meetings with them to put their thoughts together.
Yeah.
Does your shop have a chain lift or anything in it? The engine lift or
Yeah,
anything?
it's an old one.
You think it's something you'd want?
Use it quite often.
I would think so.
Robert or John, when we went to see Scott County, did they have all of those pull down things where you, for oil and
Air.
all that stuff, all those
I
kind
thought
of
they did.
pull down hydraulic cords, I guess it was?
Yeah, they had it all.
Yeah. So in other words, you don't use the can oil anymore you use it out of, I guess you use it a drum.
Yeah. It's true.
And what about overhead electric extension cords? Would you need that in your shop?
Probably pretty handy.
Nice.
Yeah, if you get up, you're gonna get up under a vehicle or climbing inside a vehicle, you're gonna need, I guess,
Would
some way they had those lights.
would you, I guess you'd have natural gas heat, but you also have to back up your wood.
We want to use it, we can. We can go that way. I don't know whether just to use it for something separate, another building, I don't know, or heat the floor. We can use that thing and just use it for floor heat.
Golly, that'd be pretty good with it.
Yeah, I mean, that's,
Yeah, I don't know whether they could adapt that, but that might be
I'm sure they could.
a big savings there.
that's, a lot of these things, that's what they do with them, is just put it in the floor and it's the concrete.
Out in the Bay
Or
Area.
it's good till you get a leak or something.
Yeah, I guess.
My aunt and uncle heated their driveway and it didn't last any time.
Really?
What happened?
It just,
Concrete.
it just started leaking, so they couldn't use any more of that.
Hmm.
And one of those hillside, it had a driveway went around like that, they heated the whole thing. It worked good about the first winter. That's outside too. Wasn't probably done as well as what this would be done.
Like, so there's an option for that thing, and that's what I always had thought that, if we had our wash bay, that, this thing, we could use it for that.
Yeah, that'd be a good idea.
Yeah.
You would want something to, if it's really cold, because it
Yeah.
had to open up.
It's
Yeah.
not very fun out there. when
No.
it's cold.
So, what about solar to heat the water?
Always that option.
Always look into that.
See what the expense is on that. Okay, all those things we can look at, but this is, this meeting was just to give us a good start forward. But Everybody okay with it? What we've discussed, where we're going, where we are?
Yes, in addition to getting input from the road department employees, I think it's important now, John, to go ahead and measure the longest length, width, total height and weight of your vehicles so that we can have that information ready for the architect.
And that's what the dump truck extended
Yes.
size will go.
Yeah,
correct.
Definitely 15-foot doors.
Yep.
Wide, I mean, tall too.
Is
Yeah.
this,
Yeah.
is
15
this gonna be
high.
the biggest dump truck whatever you
18
have right
wide.
now is gonna be the biggest you'll have
I would
in
think.
foreseeable future?
Do you still have your tractor trailer?
Mhm.
You have a grader?
Yeah.
So the length of a grader you'd have to figure that in there,
The width?
Yeah, that tractor trailers are long.
length and width.
Yeah, that tractor truck would still be our longest. Yeah.
That is a dump truck trailer.
Okay. All right. Scotty, are you okay?
Yes, sir.
All right.
This will be exciting.
Steven, you okay?
Yes.
All right, John?
Yeah.
John
Lambert.
jumping out of his seat over there.
Lambert.
Look at him.
I'm good.
All right, we'll be in touch. Try to get something set up as soon as we can. All right, everybody,
Move to adjourn.
is there any other business? All right, there's a motion to adjourn.
Second.
Second, okay.